Welcome to a new video. Today we are going to solve some Python interview questions. I'm firstly going to give you the questions and the wanted functionality, then I will solve the questions and explain the solution. We can directly start with question 1. Our first question is string reversing. Write a Python function to reverse a given string without using any built-in string reversal functions. So we will give this function something like this. Data science, and we are going to get something like this. I'm just going to write it from back. I think it's like something like this. Great. Also remember that you are not going to use any built-in string reversal functions. You can stop the video for trying to solve it by yourself. Let's do the solution. We will say define reverse string, and we will say input string here, then we will say reversed string, and we are going to create an empty string. We are going to use this with our loop. Then we will say, we can do like this, we will say for character in input string, reversed string is going to be equal to the character plus reversed string. And what we are going to do is we are going to return reversed string here. And here is our function. Great. Let's test it. We will say input string. Also we can define it with other names like input. Then also it's a functionality name in Python. I'm not going to, let's say input 1. And I'm going to say data science. And let's say reversed result is going to be reverse string and our input 1. And let's see the reversed result here. Great. Also we can change this like hello 1 2 3 hello, and we can just run this input and we can get the result. It's working nice. Great. In this question, we are tested with reversing a string without using Python's built-in reversal functions like reverse or slicing. To achieve this, we initialize an empty string called reverse string and then iterate through the characters of the input string in reverse order. For each character, we add it to the beginning of the reversed string. This effectively reverses the string character by character. Finally, we return the reversed string. Great, let's keep with the question 2. Anagram check. Write a Python function to check if two given strings are anagrams of each other. This means that they contain the same characters in a different order. For example, we will give in something like listen and silent, and it will return true because they both contain same characters in different order. Okay, great, let's solve this. Also, if we give silence rather than silent, it's going to give false. So we are going to solve this right now. We will say define our anagrams, and let's give string 1 and string 2 in the function, and we are going to say clean string 1, and we will use string 1 that replace, we will use this with this, and we will say that lower. And also we will do clean string 2, we will say string 2 replace this with this. Also I don't need spaces on there, so I'm just going to explain it at the end. And then we will say return sorted clean string 1, and we are going to say is equal to here, and we will say sorted clean string 2. This is our function. So let's test it, and if it works, I'm going to explain it to you. We will say string 1, and let's give listen, it was our example, and string 2, let's give silent here. Then we will say anagram result, we will use our anagrams function, and we will give the string 1 and string 2. And let's get our result. We got the true, and let's give silence instead of silent, and you're going to see the result false. Okay, great. It's working nicely. In this question, we want to determine if two strings are anagrams of each other, meaning they have the same characters in different orders. To solve this, we first clean both input strings by removing spaces and converting them to lowercase to ensure case-insensitive comparison. Then we check if the sorted version of both cleaned strings is echo. If they are, it means the strings have the same characters, just in different orders, making them anagrams. Great, let's keep with the question 3. It's going to be about list comprehension. Write a code to generate a list of squares of even numbers from 1 to 10 using list comprehension. So at the end we are going to have a list with 4, 16, 36 and 64 more. Great, let's solve this. Also I can write like this is going to be the output. It's going to be like this, and if I didn't miss anything, it's going to be like that. 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Great. We are going to create this list now using list comprehension. I'm going to say even squares, and we are going to open a list. We will say x, and we will give the power of 2 here for x in range 1 to 11. If x modulo 2, the even filtering condition, and great, here it is. Also we can test it if it's created successfully, like print even squares. Great. This question involves list comprehension, a concise way to create lists in Python. In the solution, we want to generate a list of squares of even numbers from 1 to 10. We use a list comprehension to generate the list. Calculates the square of each number x in the range from 1 to 10. And we filter the numbers to only include even numbers. Great. Question 4, our last question for this video. Finding duplicates. Create a Python function to find and return duplicate elements from a list. So we will give a list like this. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 2 and 3, and we are going to get 2 and 3 from the function because they are duplicates. Let's solve this. So we will say define find duplicates. We will give the input list, and let's say scene is going to be equal to the set. We will say duplicates, and we are going to create a list. Then we will say for item in input list, if item in scene duplicates dot append item, else scene dot add item, and we are going to return, of course, the duplicates. This is our function for finding the duplicates. Also I get an error here, so I'm just going to fix that. I'm not sure about the reason of the error. Maybe I pressed something wrongly, and now it needs to be work finally, I think. Yeah, great. Okay. It was something wrong with my bracket. Great, let's test it. Let's give the same list as the input list. Give it like this. We'll say 1, 2, 3. It was like, just forget it. Let's say 2, 4, 5, 3. The same duplicates. And let's say duplicate elements. We will say find duplicates, and we'll give the input list here. And let's get the duplicate elements. In this question, we need to write a Python function that finds and returns duplicate elements from a given list. We create an empty set called scene to keep track of elements we have seen so far. We initialize an empty list called duplicates to store duplicate elements. We iterate through the input list. For each element, we check if it's in the scene set. If it is, we add it to the duplicates list because it's a duplicate. If it's not in the scene set, we add it to the scene set to mark it as seen. Finally, we return the duplicates list containing all the duplicate elements found in the input list. That was all for the video. Thanks for watching. I'm creating content about data science and programming. You can subscribe for more. Have a great day.